All right, big red. So big decks generally refer to mid-range or control decks that have a kind of ramp element like Guardian Idol or Mind Stone here to get to our more expensive cards sooner. I know the numbers are hard to see because Arena's Arena. We've got 4 Karn, 4 Glorybringer, 3 Chandra in the main with a 4th in the sideboard here. Our ideal curve is a Guardian Idol or a Mind Stone on 2 into one of our 4-drops on 4, into a 5-drop, into a 4-drop on 3, into a 5-drop on 4. Chandra Heart of Fire was a card that really stuck out to me last time we played this as being super reasonable. Her +1 to discard your hand and draw 3 cards specifically felt very, very strong. This archetype will basically empty its hand by turns like 5, 6, or 7, and then at that point, Heart of Fire is effectively drawing you 3 cards per turn. The mana base of this deck, we're playing 26 lands to start, which 26 lands plus 8 ramp effects here is 34 mana sources, which is high. That being said, Mind Stone can cycle itself, Guardian Idol and Mobilized District attack, Castle Locthwain draws cards, so this is a deck that has a high curve, so it wants to play a lot of mana sources, but a lot of our mana sources here double up as doing other things. Even things like Canyon Slough and Savvy Triome are things that are here to potentially turn into more action in the mid to late game, and we no longer need them as land drops. So this deck felt okay last time we played it. Let's give it another try here again today and see how it feels. Your parents sold their previous home for $750,000 when they bought it in a foreclosed sale for $200,000 10 years prior. Good lord. Is that Canada? Snow Source? I know real estate things in Canada have been kind of absurd the last little while. MA Boston suburbs. Wild. Yeah, I guess I've heard that in parts of the States too. Yeah, we looked, Dallas was another area that boomed up like that. I think I'm just taking Branch Walker here and hoping they stumble on lands for a hot second. What is our graveyard hate in this sideboard? Do I have any? Just Grafdigger's Cage. That isn't great for us. I have Abrade and Bedevil, though, for killing their thing, which is nice. Yep, in Dallas suburbs, our house has gone up $200,000 since we bought it 8 years ago. It's wild. That's like almost as much as my house cost. My house does have multiple floors. Space is cheap in the cornfields, chat. My house is very large. We have a little over 3,000 feet with our square feet with our finished basement. Bought my house 5 years ago for $130,000 in the St. Paul suburbs. I close on selling it in a week for $275,000. Yep. So they are dangerously close to getting this going already. Are each of my kids going to have their own room? We technically have the bandwidth for that. I don't know if we're going to yet, though. The boys currently are in a shared room, but they don't really spend a lot of time in it. But that might change as they get older and utilize the space more. Yeah, my wife and I each have an office in the house right now. And while she probably doesn't need one, technically speaking, I definitely do for my job. So every turn, this gets to copy, bring something back out of their graveyard. It's not crazy to see a house go for 50,000 plus over the asking price, paid in cash with no inspection in New England. That's wild. So we have 5 bedrooms. Yes, technically 5. One of them's in the basement here, where I currently exist in a basement. But yeah, technically, legally, there's 5 bedrooms at my home. Okay, so I do this, I play Mind Stone, I play Awakened Inferno, and they hit an Uro in here. I think I'm just putting a thing on them here, and ticking this up. Hey, Sidmo, thanks for the brand new Prime support, I appreciate that. Welcome to Oglandia. That's crazy. Yeah, we didn't, yeah, the housing market, again, upside to being in the cornfields. When Christy and I bought this house almost 2 years ago, we didn't really have any super competitive issues like that. Yeah, we felt very fortunate here. Feel very fortunate hearing all these stories people are talking about in chat. Feels like our opponent's going to solidly go over the top of us here with these God-Pharaoh gifts game 1. It's very possible that this deck we're playing wants some number of Bedevil or Abrade in the main deck, or possibly both. They're going to deck themselves. Maybe. They're at 21 cards. Worth noting here that these tokens do not get the dies trigger, because you have to exile it to get the dies trigger, and it exiles itself upon going to the graveyard because it's a token. So I can block this here and not worry about it. So next turn, I can down-tick Karn and get this Heart of Fire. Second Rekindling Phoenix is great. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana total, 9 mana total. I think I'm just getting the other Chandra. And I think I'm shooting their Emery here. Do I want to just try and keep their board in check? I think so. So I think rather than... It's tough. So I kind of want to tick this up, not because I want counters on them, but because keeping her high enough to kill Uro and survive has a lot of appeal to it. It could be right to just kill the Jadelight Ranger, though. They're going to get to bring back 2 things next turn. I have 2 blockers, and then I take 5 at least. Yeah, I think I need to kill something to keep my health total. My deck doesn't have ways to gain life, so it's been a good first game. You considered splashing blue and green for Uro? Asking the real questions. Excuse me? That's a sick card. How have I never seen this card before? Target Dummy, thanks for the Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. That's gross. Yeah, my Phoenixes don't trade with their things now? That's super unfortunate. Probably because it's a draft card. It seems genuinely good with God-Pharaoh's Gift. Like it's a two mana cantrip effect, basically. The Phoenix that's already pulled up is the one you've already targeted in your graveyard for people that haven't seen that before. Start by plussing Karn.
You will regret that choice.
Oh, I have 100 different choices this turn. How do we win? I think surviving is step one. I think I need to kill this. I think I'm drawing with this and seeing where we end up at.
Do what feels right. Glad I could help with your not being on fire problems.
Maybe I should have not played the Mind Stone so I could play this Bonecrusher Giant.
Stay back. I'm an explosive.
Am I dead? I think I'm dead, right? Because I can go block, block, and then I take 9. Yeah, he did. Needed to play Bonecrusher Giant there. Like I said, good chance Abrade and Bedevil should be in the main. That would kill our Rekindling Phoenix's Gendy, and it would leave me dead to their thing. That would leave me dead to their God-Pharaoh's Gift still next turn. So taking the play that kills my creatures and leaves me dead on board seems not great. Ooh, the eggs are elementals. That's a good catch. That's a good catch. But then we'd have to chump block, so we lose the Phoenixes. Yeah, I don't know if that's the correct line still. Yeah, for people that aren't familiar with God-Pharaoh's Gift, it makes a 4/4 with haste every turn. It's very difficult to live all that cards in play. I think this is a Bonecrusher out matchup. I'll bring in these so they kill God-Pharaoh's Gift. Yeah, I guess I could Chandra -3, Chandra -3. The problem with that sequence is that they get Uro back in their bin with that sequence as opposed to it being exiled, and then they get to re-escape the Uro. Cage does not stop God-Pharaoh's Gift, correct. God-Pharaoh's Gift exiles the creature and then makes a token, which is, again, one of those kind of problems you get with these interactive decks and non-rotating formats. There's just so many different angles you're getting attacked from that your answers are never going to line up well against everything. First hand needed a second land real bad. This is not perfect, but it's keepable. This is an instant speed ability, too. This dude seems genuinely great. I feel like this is going to become an easy staple in the opponent's archetype. I can't tell if I'm supposed to kill those or not. It might be better to just wait for... It might be better to wait for... I have 2 artifact destructions. It might be better to wait for the actual God-Pharaoh's gifts to come out. I think we're just like Daddy Dragon, no exert, like try and kill you in 3 attacks. It's not even sleight of hand. It puts the other card into the graveyard. It's a giant creature, pay 2, look at 2, bid 1. Yeah, but they spend more resources getting God-Pharaoh's Gift into play Mean Bean. So I think there's definitely merit to waiting to do on those. Okay, since I drew a Phoenix instead of a land, we're going to go Mind Stone into Bird here, I think. Since I can't kill them in 2 attacks anymore anyways, because they gained life with Uro. No, Sleight of Hand puts the other one on the bottom of your deck. Alright, so I'd like to hit an untapped land here. Okay, so I get to go Abrade, destroy that, Glorybringer, bang that one, attack. Actually, am I supposed to attack with this? Yeah, probably. I want to kill him next turn, right? I'm at 10. Even if they find another God-Pharaoh's gift, I'm only taking 7. I mean, if they eternalize champion, they're dead, right? So I should take the play that encourages them to eternalize the champion. Hey, chat! How much life did my opponent gain with Uro this game? Oh, they gained 6 life, you say? Oh, they gained 9 life, and they're at 9? That's super convenient. Super duper convenient. I don't think I'm exerting here. I'm going to leave Phoenix back. My opponent's guaranteed gaining 3, so they're at a virtual 12. No, I don't want to die to a piece of removal or a bounce spell or anything that. So I think I just attack with this normal. This is going to be able to attack next turn. So I'm going to put them to 5, which leaves them at 8. I have 2 blockers and 3 4-power things in the air. Yeah, the Mobilized District cheers when you play it. So even if they get another Uro trigger here, they're still dead to 12 in the air. Still dead. Still dead. Alright, God bless. Phoenix comes back with haste for people who aren't familiar with that card. For people who aren't familiar with Glorybringer intimately, by the way, either Glorybringer can explicitly does not bang other dragons. So, not a great tool from that perspective. Gosh, I wonder if I'm supposed to bring down my curve in this matchup. Like, Chandra Heart of Fire doesn't seem stellar. Maybe Contempt's worth bringing in. I wonder if it's crazy to play Bonecrusher over Thoughtseize on the draw. Because I probably want more cards that play to the board on the draw, right? Hey, thanks for the tier 3 Pokemon Nerd. I appreciate the 2.5 years. Welcome back. Their deck can be kind of aggressive on the play. With land more elves and explore creatures, I think I'm going to pull Thoughtseize out. So you have to cancel your existing sub and then renew it to get the September discount. And I'm told that that's a bug, not a feature. Am I stopping the Jade Light or the Land War Elf? I think it's the Elf. I agree with them keeping the Cavalier on top, especially. Next turn, I can go Dragonskull Summit, Mind Stone, stomp something else. If we're fortunate, they'll be missing their 3rd green source here. I don't think Leyline, it's not even a thing. Leyline of the Void is not a card you can play 2 of. You should be playing 4 Leylines so you can mulligan and have them, or you shouldn't be playing any. I think we're just dead here. Like, this is the games, they're just like, they just suck, right? Like, the opponent's on the play, they had Elf into Uro, and we just get run over and there's nothing you can do about it. Hey, Anju, thanks for the 7 months, welcome back. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the God-Pharaoh's gift decks are popular enough that I just want a bunch of Leylines. I could honestly also see, like, maybe instead of, like, an appropriate hedge for that matchup too is also just, like, perhaps playing some artifact interaction in my main deck. Like, we just, like, play Abrades and Bedevils game 1. Bajuka Bog's not a playable card unless you're searching it up. I don't just want a random tap land. The other Karn for artifact interaction. No. Artifact interaction also explicitly doesn't help us with God-Pharaoh's gift because I guess you have to have Tormod's Crypt, but that's super narrow. And this card generates a card every turn. For people that don't understand why this card is good, this card and the other 4-mana card are fundamentally very different. And the other card requires you to restructure the entirety of your graveyard, the entirety of your sideboard to be good as well. Cling to Dust is not really strong against God-Pharaoh's gift, which is the card that our graveyard card. Again, this is, the problem with interactive decks and non-rotating formats. Like, peak Twitch chat is, we just played against God-Pharaoh's gift, so now, like, we want to, like, gut our deck and make it better against God-Pharaoh's gift. You're just gonna fucking die sometimes in these formats with these interactive decks. It's just how they work. So, like, is it worth making changes for that, so that way we can run into goblins after we cut our Grafdigger's cages and then get hosed by goblins? Is like a real question. I think, see, appropriate, good, bad example, bad Twitch chat, making strong changes because we lost to God-Pharaoh's gift. Good example of making good changes, adding Bedevil to my main deck, which is a generically good card that also happens to be good against the matchup we ran into where it felt like we struggled. So, adding generically good cards to your main deck or sideboard that happen to be good in the matchup that felt hard, that's a good example of a way to metagame. Gutting your deck and changing a ton of stuff so you can specifically target the narrow matchup to feel better about it, that's a bad example of how you should approach deck building in these non-rotating formats. There's too many matchups. You can't do that. You're gonna hit too many different things. I think I'm gonna drag my curve down a bit and, like, cut a land. This gives me 2 more spell slots here in my main. Yeah, it's unbeatable. Donate. I don't know. Yeah, maybe we are just supposed to play Leyline. The mono black deck was doing okay. If I make room in my sideboard like this. Sure, let's lose to goblins. I'll leave 1 cage in the board. Do we want a sweeper in the board for goblins? Yeah, Bedevil's great. Alright, that's fine. This is, hands like this really show the strength of a card like Bonecrusher Giant. This is a 2-drop and a 3-drop, so, like, this hand with only 3 spells gets to curve 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 5. Which is exactly what you want to be doing. Magic's a game where you're more likely to win if you're curving out. Fantastic piece of top end there. Okay, against a Breeding Pool deck here, I think I want to go ahead and just Bonecrusher Giant their face and then play Bonecrusher untapped on 3. We can start trying to pressure them. Getting a sensor burned and my 3-drop when I have a 4 and 2 5s in my hand feels like a huge win for us here. Something that's really sweet about the way our deck's constructed is that Castle and Mindstone care about in our set, but our card advantage in Karn and Chandra do not, which is lovely. Get our Karn advantage online here.
A curious choice.
Put thoughtfulness before action.
There's a card that's very reasonable and beatable. We can definitely keep up with that one. Okay, so the goal here is to churn through as many cards in our deck as possible so we can try and get to a Thoughtseize before this card shows up and kills us. Censor me, daddy. Ooh. We also might be able to just race them here. Karn structs are really bad against sweepers. I want to keep upticking my Karn so I can try and find a Thoughtseize. I think it's more likely that we find a Thoughtseize before they cast Ugin than we kill them before they cast Ugin or find another sweeper. Okay, they're at 6. 2 turns off of Ugin. Is that a good one, chat? Is that a good one? Not only colorless creature, just like one they can't touch. So we pass here now, and if they slam Ugin, we stomp their face, and then Mobilized District gets it. Creature lands are lovely, chat. Creature lands are lovely. So they're dead if they Ugin and down tick. Nailed it. All right, pour one out for my boy Mobilized District, chat. Pour one out for my boy Mobilized District. How'd the tokens deck perform? It's god awful. I would use the words unplayable. This is probably a Bonecrusher Giant out matchup, right? Like, the little bit of reach there was fine, but in general, not good enough. I trimmed the third Chandra Heart of Fire from the main deck to pull the curve down. It might be right to have a third one in the sideboard. She might be better than this Ugin, actually. Because it actually didn't matter, Elvish Rage. Because I had a thing in creature land in play. And I had a Karn that could get another Bonecrusher Giant from exile. Two, three, four. Curving right on out the door. Yeah, the spell land sounds hilarious for Belcher. So, I think I want Karn to resolve more than I want Phoenix to resolve, so I'm going to lead on a Phoenix here. Buckles! Let's get you a sword to go with that shield. Thanks for keeping me around. I appreciate it. That is super punishing for leading on Phoenix. Yeah, I'm hoping the 5-mana Chandra will get to see standard play in the after rotation. I think Mutavault's probably the best creature land ever printed. Would be my pick if someone asked me to make one. I think Colonnade and Tar Pit are up there after it, but definitely Mutavault for numero uno.
If you show remorse, we need to move quickly.
Mutavault has a lot of incidental synergies that are very valuable that Factory doesn't have, even if it is able to pump other factories. Yeah, I think the synergies from creature types are more valuable. There's a lot. Most creature lands are good, chat. For people saying, what about these other ones? You're right. The other ones that you're whatabouting me about are also playable Magic cards. Creature lands in general are great because creature lands are a great tool for mitigating the incredible amount of resource variance baked into Magic the Gathering's core system. So, all of the cards you're listing are also wonderful. I just think they're less good than Mutavault. This card's unbeatable, right?
I'll make use of that later.
I hate this card so much.
We need to move quickly.
You are acting unwisely.
Vampire Nighthawk Tarmogoyf hybrid card. I can only assume that that's a wild misrepresentation of what the card actually spoiled is. Either that or it has a very big mana cost.
The time has come.
I like how chat's like, it's not a wild misrepresentation, and then it's like, only opponents' graveyards. Yeah, only opponents' graveyards is a big deal, chat.
You know what? I'm not done.
I guess flying Death Touch Lifelink is pretty decent. All right, now we're dead, right? It's very possible there should be an 8-mana Ugin in this 75. It's kind of awkward with Phoenix, though. And it's an X3. Oh, its defense doesn't go up? God damn it, chat. Alright, 2 draws and an untapped land here, chat. 2 draws and an untapped land. Glass half full, we didn't miss our land drop. Okay, and we get to play Chandra next turn, guaranteed. I don't know that she's going to resolve, but she's going to come into play. So, like, turn 5 Chandra is not bad if they don't have a lot else going on. Lead on Mind Stone, because it can tap the turn you play it. Yeah, it gets Aether Gusted, though. So not guaranteed to resolve. Alright, can Chandra emblems put our opponent in the ground?
No pressure.
Got some Guardian Idols here to attack with as well. Yeah, it might be the first time we fire up Idol here. You could say this game is heating up a little bit, chat. Yes, I'm aware you should not trust the auto tapper with Guardian Idol.
Let's start at a sizzle. Hope it's not too hot for you.
Let's
Mixed feelings about seeing 3 lands with the Thoughtseize.
I'll have a better plan next time.
Kind of, Agako. It's like Chandra forces a clock on them until they draw Uro.
Let's get toasty.
Glory, glory, hallelujah. Giant dragons blowing through ya. Assume this is going to be a chump block. Since they're under pressure from these emblems. They're at 6 cards in the bin, so if they've been their top card, they get to flip Search Rescanta here. Always yield option when, chat. Always yield option when. Oh, would you look at that? They hit Uro with their Azcanta. Sure. We might be okay still. So Chandra gets to down tick and kill this Uro, and then we play another Chandra and give them another emblem. So we might be okay. We still have Dragon breathing down their neck. I'm not dead yet.
You're playing with fire here.
Nah, I think with the second Chandra in hand, I just trade my Chandra for this and keep my Glorybringer unexerted.
To finish you.
Heard people freaking out over spell lands, but they don't seem that different from creature lands printed in the last 2 Zendikar sets. They're very different. Hadouken Storm. So creature lands are lands that are sometimes spells. These are spells that are sometimes lands, and that differential is important.
And no one is telling me. Is it just me? Or is it getting a little warm in here?
This double-faced mechanic could be as broken as companions. Magic Boomer's gonna boom. Magic Boomer's gonna boom. It does not surprise me that the same people that hate the London Mulligan and companions are also apprehensive about the spell lands. That does not surprise me. Sure. Again, Bonecrusher Giant looking excellent here. This gets to be a 2, 3, and then 4, 5 here, so you got a very nice curve. You get to play them as either side. So, they're a spell when they're in your hand, but you can just play them as land. Or basically think of them as split cards. How many Uro decks have we played against today? I haven't been counting, but the answer's definitely a lot, right?
Are you certain of your decision?
So I posted about this on Twitter yesterday. For people that are newer to Magic or perhaps don't remember their history, I think what's pretty likely to have happened is something similar to what we saw have happen in Modern. When Hagak was printed in Modern Horizons, they initially banned Bridge from Below, which ironically is a card that makes 2/2 black zombies, instead of banning Hagak. And the result of banning Bridge from Below was that a better deck, a better Hagak deck was created that was more efficient because people were forced to stop playing the all-in high variance version that played Bridge from Below. So by banning a card, Wizards actually made the best deck better because the iterations that were forced to be explored and popped up were more powerful. And I think with these Sultai ramp control, mid-range, whatever you want to call them, I think that's potentially what we're going to see happen here in Historic. I think that the mixture of cards these Sultai decks are playing is actually harder to attack and beat for most decks than Field of the Dead was, and I think the iterations we're going to see appear are going to be better in the long term than Field of the Dead was. I'm going to go ahead and get Chandra going here. What's Watsy got against zombies? Something. Go over the top pile. Yep. Okay, Glorybringer plus Chandra Heart of Fire plus kills Nissa here, and Glorybringer bangs the Elemental Land while it's at it. Yeah, I think so, Zephyr. I think Nexus... I think, that being said, I think Nexus of Fate is a card you probably justify leaving banned because it's pretty miserable. So we go exert you, attack you. If Glorybringer bangs the breeding pool and the Nissa simultaneously, does that constitute a threesome, chat? Can I get a flavor judge ruling on that? This is against the Twitch TOS. Apologies. They need an untapped green source to escape Burrow here, right? They don't have it. Okay. I think I'm stomping their face so I can draw cards with Chandra next turn. Maybe I'm not drawing cards with Chandra next turn. Yeah, I'm dumb. I'm just gonna play this. I shocked myself for no reason here.
Some solutions must be built.
So they're going up to 10 next turn with the Uro escape. But I've got 8, 10 on board. Plus I've got this, this, and this. Okay, this exiles my token and my Phoenix. Going down to 4 cards in bin. That kills them, right? They block this, they take... Yeah, sure, okay. Okay, good play. Good chat, cheerio. Hip, cheerio. Exert and Chandra uptick means they can't block. Sure, it's just, there's a lot of right ways to eat this resist. Well, Bert, thanks for the 21 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Am I bringing in Leyline of the Void against their Uro deck? Am I bringing in Leyline of the Void against their Uro deck? Chat seems to be pretty convinced, which means there's a good chance we're not supposed to. So the problem with Cage is that Cage turns off my Phoenixes, so I mostly just have Cage here for the Goblins matchup. I think I want this Duress to be a third Chandra in my board. Yeah, I don't think I want Leyline here. I think they need Uro plus something else. Yeah, I agree. It's not like, I think if we had like actively bad cards in my deck right now, I would fit Leyline in, but I feel like all the cards I currently have in my deck have text boxes. I think this set's been good enough that I'm going to throw this deck up on the website, at least under the fan favorite section. I don't know if it quite qualifies for high potential, but the games have been fun, and we get to make a lot of choices in them. Archetypes doing something kind of unique. Nah, I think Karn's much better than 4-mana Liliana. So, I think we've Thoughtseize double Mindstone this turn, is my plan, as opposed to running Karn into a counterspell. Okay, so we take Nissa, and then we can Contempt the other Nissa. Is the plan. Just try and stay alive here. Let us begin.
Albeit an excellent choice.
I think we're cycling a Mind Stone, chat. I think we probably see them make... The good news is, if they make a 2-2 Shark, and then they make a 3-3 with Nissa, they still can't kill Karn, so we have to draw a second card with it, and it'll gain us some life, so that's nice.
Power surges through these lands. Rise, my elemental friend.
We should discuss our differences.
So unfortunately, because I cycled the Mind Stone, I am unable to Phoenix and Contempt this turn. Definitely need to Contempt. We're gonna get a Mobilized District here as opposed to Bedevil, I would assume. I put a stop at the start of my opponent's turn here, because if they elect to Aether Gust their Nissa, I do not want them to be able to replay Nissa next turn, so I'm going to Contempt Nissa inside of their draw step. So this way, if they elect to use this to save it, they don't get to recast her till next turn. This does give them the opportunity to draw a negate. And if they draw the negate, it is what it is. But I think I'm supposed to play around the card that's faced up as opposed to playing around a card that they might have. Again, a little bit of damned if you do, damned if you don't. Your choice didn't really matter there, but that's just how it goes sometimes.
Harness the elements.
Yeah, and there's no guarantee that negate was the card they drew for the turn anyways, for sure. Got it. I understand. I understand. If they didn't have negate, we would have killed. They wouldn't have been able to cast Ugin there because we would have killed their ramp payoff. And again, like Nissa and Uro really kind of, I think, highlight that kind of key problem with these ramp card designs, right? Like they're cards that ramp you that are also threats that are just so brutal. Hope you don't like your hand. Please mulligan. Please mulligan. Please mulligan. Yeah. You know what my favorite type of people to Thoughtseize are, chat? People who mulligan because they're already down cards. It doesn't feel good to Thoughtseize Uro, but it's technically still a 1-for-1, chat. So, here we are. magic. Oh, God. Oh, Thoughtseize. It's such a god-awful design, chat. It just never feels good. It doesn't feel good to get Thoughtseized. It doesn't feel good to play Thoughtseize. Just like, this is the part where they just played Nissa on 4. We just like Thoughtseize them 3 times. They turn 4 Nissas. Joke's on you. I didn't want an answer to your arrow anyways.
Its choice.
I think they messed up here. If they give me Chandra here, I can't cast Chandra next turn. Whereas now, if I draw an untapped land, I can downtick Karn and cast Chandra. So I think they messed that up. It's Mobilized District artifact creature. It is not. It's a citizen creature with vigilance. I think if we win this, opponent definitely punted it. This is an Aether Gust. Please be a negate, not an Aether Gust. Howdy, Yama. Yeah, the mouse over overlay is good stuff.
You're about to.
Okay, so you're saying there's a chance. The old spend 6 mana to exile the 4 mana card you played out of your graveyard that drew you a card and ramped you. It's a good exchange rate, right? It's a good exchange or something you can feel good about. Can tell your kids about at night and be proud. Red cards versus Simic cards, chat. Red cards versus Simic cards. Ooh. Are we gonna win? I think we're winning, chat. It's exciting. Busted Simic cards got nothing on us, chat. Guardian Idols and Mind Stones all the way down. Oh, yeah, negate me, daddy. Negate me harder. Alright, they kept a card on top. What do you got? So you're dead. You drew a land, so you're dead. Yeah! Mobilized District, chat. Really punching the clock and going to work here today. So we're 2-0 against Sultai Ramp with this deck now. Obviously, our deck is perfect and beats Sultai Ramp. Sultai Ramp is not a problem because our deck beats it. Right? That's how that works, I think. I'm cutting this to rest for a 3rd Chandra Heart of Fire in the board. Put it in the stream title. Meta Breaker, undefeated against Sultai Ramp on my way to Mythic. Forget Freeman. Thank you for the 1.5 years. I appreciate the prime. Welcome back. Sand really wants a 4-drop. What do you think of this? I think I like this. Bring in some Doom Blades. Bring in some more hard removal spells. Has anyone become a Shillionaire? We do have Hooglandia's first Shillionaire. Beansy has. Shillionaire comes with a 100-point deck submission, as well as a custom Discord role in the Hooglandia Discord server. Cody's at 863,000. Yeah, I think we're gonna see a few more over the next few months for sure. Chris, thank you for the 21 months. Shillionaire. Shillionaire is the only way to spend shillings to add new things to the deck queue. I gave up becoming a Shillionaire and I bumped Big Rude Terra deck. Sounds good. Okay. Do a brief explanation on why Standard's considered a dumpster fire right now. I would encourage you to go look at the metagame of any recent Standard tournament. Maybe I'm supposed to Karn there. And plus. This is better against Questing Beast by a lot, though. To be fair, Pervidia, Historic currently has a lot of the same problems that Standard does, because most of Standard's problems are related to Uro.
Close your eyes, breathe, and listen to the sounds of the wild. I'd get out of the way if I were you.
I think I'm plussing this.
You may regret that choice.
This is why I don't like people.
Remember when Risen Reef was playable? How about this? Remember when Growth Chamber Guardian was a format staple? Anybody old enough to remember that? That card's still Standard, legal chat.
Survive.
Growth Chamber Guardian is currently Standard legal. These are actually a pair of really good draws. I don't know if they're going to be enough to save us here, but all things considered, this is about the best I could ask for, I think. Alright, a scale of 1 to cleave, how dead am I? Pretty dead, chat. Pretty dead. I'm not dead yet. I'm not dead yet. Alright, I lied. I'm dead. You scoos, you lose, chat. You scoos, you lose. Worth noting here that my opponent actually made a pretty big mistake. If they would have waited until I targeted the phoenixes in my graveyard, I believe these have to sacrifice. But they didn't, so now I have O1s left over. Updated an IQ and a PTQ on back-to-back weekends with 4-man All-Star Growth Chamber Guardian. Yep, card was gasoline. Read.
Try to come back for you.
It's targeted to the ability with Fizzle. Is that how magic works? It might be how magic works. This trades here. This trades here. I have a Mind Stone left to cycle. I'm at 8 life. Only 6 months, War Gabe. One of the best champs to build around in Runeterra. Gosh, there's so many good ones. Diana's my favorite champ right now. It's the one I've been enjoying playing with the most. Yeah, honestly, your favorite ones. Almost every champ in the game is playable in some type of shell. I think Heimerdinger is probably one of the worst ones that's legal at the moment. Nah, I think there's probably things you could do that are reasonable with Vlad. Heimer's pretty bad, though. I think I want to hold on to Bedevil as opposed to Contempt because this, I think they're more likely to have a cleave than something I need to exile. I would bet we see a rebalance on Heimer before long. He was super playable, and they nerfed him, and they over-nerfed him. So I expect they'll readjust him sometime soon. Really seeing some of the value in my mana sources providing utility this game. Mobilized District, Castle, like all of these different things have been very useful for us so far. Our opponent's deck, by comparison, does not have utility from its lands, and is subsequently just flooding out here.
If you haven't heard of me, then get ready. No pressure. Glad I could help with your not being on fire problem.
So they're dead. Next turn, right? I get to fire these up. Remember, Mobilized District gets cheaper for each legendary you have in play. So when you have a Planeswalker out, it costs 1 less to activate. I'm happy with how we boarded. I'm going to run it back here. Yeah, that was the Scoos game. It was the game they played Scoos and $8 Phoenixes. Peeled out of it okay there. Oh, that's sad. Alex Morse lost his primary in MA. At least, Markey kept his seat in the Senate. I think I'm supposed to mulligan this, right? This is expensive. I don't have double black. I don't have double red. 3 artifact ramp rocks are too many. This hand's much better. Maybe I'm supposed to bottom Ugin and keep a land there. Can see that being the case. Play a Scavenging Ooze for me, will you? Rats. Find out if they have another 1/1 for this. If we keep drawing lands here and get to go 3, 4, 5, 6, could be okay here. The Great Henge. That's a good one. Bedevil, please. Alright, let's dig for a Bedevil before this buries us. Oh, I don't have a Braid in my deck right now, do I? I don't remember. I do have a Braid. Sick. Alright, protect the Karn at all costs, chat. Think I let Karn go to 1 here. This is dangerous if they have a Bonecrusher Giant of their own, though. I wanna let that go to 1, so that way this turn I can go block with Bonecrusher plus Stomp to kill this. They brought in Grafdigger's Cage for Phoenix. Deal. So we get to bang this one out here. Might be close to turning the corner here, chat. Shout out to Izumai for the cut the line, by the way. This submission's been great. Easy deck of the day. Like where we've ended up at for sure. Oh, right. Guardian Idol's free with Ugin. That's funny. What goes on the banner for this one? Mind Stone, Glorybringer, and what else? What's the third card for my website? Hey, Nickel, thanks for dropping the prime off. I appreciate it. Is it a Chandra? It could be Karn. I actually think Karn's more important than Chandra. Sorry, love. I think Karn's actually the more key card in the deck. Having card advantage in our mid-range deck's a pretty big deal. Oh. No, I don't want to attack with that. I generally like putting cards that are 4-ofs on the deck list. Chandra is big and red. That is true. I'm not on 4 of either Chandra right now, though, right? I think I like where we ended up at. Again, the curve looks pretty reasonable. I like going down to 25 lands with 7 of these. If you're anything cage-worthy, ad stops our Phoenix. I think I like the sideboard. I like 1 of each extra Chandra for the control matchups. Contempt to gain a little bit of life, and exile things felt good. We do have 4 total Chandras in the main. One of the other things I also like to do when I pick out cards for the banner is I generally try to pick cards that are guaranteed to stay 4-ofs in the archetype even as the archetype iterates. So I feel like there's probably never a metagame where this deck doesn't play Mind Stone, Karn, Glorybringer. So that's probably the 3 that I want for the banner. How are the ley lines? I think I'm gonna leave the ley lines in the board. I think the what's it called matchup's probably hard. I guess I'm not even sure about that. I've got Abrade and Bedevil. I don't know. Like I said when we were picking what goes into our sideboard, what you're going to beat and what you're picking to lose to is basically the question you're always asking yourself with these kind of interactive decks in this non-rotating format. And if you really don't want to beat up graveyard decks, you could easily swap these to something else. I don't know, there's probably enough graveyard decks in the format that this is fine. I think this deck's kind of sweet because it has a lot of interesting interactive elements, but the real key to this deck is the fact that you have Rekindling Phoenix and Glorybringer as your top end. These two things mean that you're able to steal some games with just evasive, powerful threats that you can't control. And that's really the key to what this archetype is doing versus something like, say, blue-white control, which is very controlling as well, is that sometimes this deck takes a very proactive slant and just punches people, which is nice. You know, I think I'm happy for ramping up that. All right, at any rate, that's going to wrap up our Magic stuff for the day. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out. If you're new to the stream, basically every day on stream, I'm doing some Magic in the morning to start things off, and then we're wrapping up with some Runeterra. So we're going to shift gears into a couple of Runeterra decks for the remainder of the afternoon. If you haven't seen